It was August the 13th, and I was on my way to work, and I'm always like an early bird in the morning, going through daycare, and I'd just come round the corner, and all of a sudden there was a cattle beast on the road that I didn't really even realise was there.
At the time of the crash, it was dark and there was heavy rain. The oncoming headlights made it virtually impossible for the driver to see the cow in the middle of the road.
She came across my bonnet through the window screen, and she gave me a kiss that good that it broke my jaw in 7 different places, and that cost me another 7 or 8 weeks in the Dunedin intensive care hospital.
When I arrived at the scene, I found the driver's car extensively damaged by the impact of the cow. It had rolled over the bonnet, up over the windscreen and crushing the roof, causing extensive head injuries to the driver.
I would have been that close to death if it wasn't for the quick reactions of the Fonterra staff and the Fonterra staff and the Edendale Fire Brigade. I may not be able to sit here and talk with you now, you know.
Members of the public only see the crash on the side of the road. They don't see the ripple effect that this causes to the wider community, not only with police, ambulance and fire who attend this, but with the drivers and the family that are affected by these devastations. There's the ongoing effect through our hospitals, roading and ACC.
Cutting people out of motor vehicles, dead or alive, is traumatic. For a start, we definitely just have a job to do, and you're kind of in that mindset. But after it's all said and done, you know, you've got to go home and think about those things and see your family, and especially with kids or that involved when you go home to your own kids, it definitely psychologically takes a toll on you.
It's been a real heavy road. It's been nearly 2 years since I've had this accident, and there's been so much adjustment, and the only real thankful thing I say is that I've got a $1 million wife, and she is fantastic. I know I've still got a way to go yet, and yeah, I've just got to be patient. Losing your memory and still trying to work out who your family are. I've had to be reintroduced to people who I've known for years, but my old head just hasn't registered to who they are. And in some areas, my understanding is really good, but in other areas, it's just kind of on a short-term basis, and I've just got to be patient with that.
As part of my role in the investigation of the crash, I spoke with the farmer who owned the cow. He was devastated that one of his stock had got out on the road and caused such a horrific accident and injury to the driver of the vehicle.
As a farmer, you've got a lot of responsibilities and there's a lot of things going on, but one of the things you have to keep in mind is your responsibility to keep your stock off the roads and highways. You know, good practice is always having your road gates shut, especially when they're behind a taper or a live strand. It is a fence, but it's not really a fence. If the power goes out for some reason, your stock are out. It's not just farm livestock around, there is wild livestock around. There's more and more deer getting around too, so they can spring out of nowhere, so you've got to be vigilant when you're driving on the rural roads.
That's one thing we should be doing on farms. We should be putting 8-foot fences up on our boundary road fences just to protect our grandchildren, our farm workers.
If you've got to replace it with deer fencing. I put deer fencing up because I didn't want to see my stock, well, the share milkers I have, their stock, which I'm responsible for, getting onto the main road.
Not just about the fact that if wandering stock get injured, it's the people that run into them, the effects on them and the effects on you, your conscience. And that's long lasting if something really bad happens.
In the past 12 months in the Southern Policing District, police have been called to 340 incidents of stock on our roads. This is a community problem that everybody can play their part in to resolve. If you see stock on our roads, please call 111. It is an emergency.
So yeah, we really want to stress that people need to inform someone if they see stock on the road.
I just really pray that no farm worker or none of the farmers' children especially, you know, or even their grandchildren have to go through a similar experience to what I have.
If you see stock on our roads, please call 111. This is an emergency. If you do this, you may be preventing further harm to our road users.